Good day, everybody. People ask me why I do so many sporting events at the high school and college level. Big part of it is because I never know who I'm going to meet, I never know what they'll do for me, and I've got some examples of that in this video. First picture here, the Great Book of Denver Sports List. You see the title, and that is Irv Brown on the right, his longtime radio partner Joe Williams on the left. In May of 2009, I met Irv Brown at a district baseball tournament at Everett Middle School where Wheat Ridge High School plays. Irv was announcing it for a local cable station, and he made me feel like I was big time right away, liked my work. He mentioned me on his radio show a couple of times. And after not seeing him for 6-7 years, I ran into Irv again January 2018. I was substituting at Regis University at the time for basketball, and Irv said, "You're still doing this." Just an all-around fine guy, Irv Brown, who unfortunately passed away in February of 2019, but somebody I'm very lucky to have met. And of course, his radio partner for many years, Joe Williams, who I did not have the chance to meet, but seemed like a fine guy as well, listening to him on the radio. So let's move up now to September 2014, and you see this book I've reviewed on YouTube before, Life Ain't the Same in the Pecos League, by one of my best friends, Bill Rogan. Well, in September of 2014, the 21st, I think, was the date, Bill was playing in an adult league championship game in Denver, an adult baseball championship game that I got to announce, and I run into him before the game. He comes to say hi to me, and we hadn't seen each other in years. I mean, creative differences, I'll just say, but we hadn't seen each other in years, but he came to say hi to me, said he liked what I did, and from then on, we became good friends, and he's been very helpful to me over the years. I still, some of my before pregame habits and some of my research is in part because of tips from Bill, and glad I got to run into him in 2014 and become friends with him again, and now certainly someone I talk to quite a bit. And another way Bill helped me, the guy here on the right is one of Bill's good friends, and a guy who's become a friend of mine over the years, Ed Henderson. And through Bill, I get to meet Ed, and when Ed decided to move on from giving sports updates for Pirate Radio in Fort Collins and Greeley, he recommended me for the job. So I interviewed the higher-ups, the hosts of the shows, and they liked what they heard, and now every Friday during Rockies season, I get to do Rockies updates for Pirate Radio in Fort Collins and host Sue Sutton. And every Tuesday year-round, I get to do sports updates for host George Gray, again, Pirate Radio in Greeley. Ed Henderson played a big part in getting me that, so I meet Bill Rogan, I run into him again, he introduces me to Ed Henderson, look where that got me. So now I'll move ahead to this guy, Matt Heckle, who I've known since I started when I was a high school student many years ago, and he got an email from this young lady, Bethany Brookins, an assistant commissioner for CHSAA, now an associate commissioner for CHSAA, back in June of 2021. Matt learned that they needed an announcer for boys volleyball, the boys volleyball state tournament. So he forwards me the email from Ms. Bethany Brookins, and so I tell Bethany I can do the whole tournament, and told her a little bit about myself, and I could have sent a resume and a demo tape if needed, but Bethany just said, sign yourself up, and I did, and it was an on-the-job audition, if you will, but Bethany and this gal, her associate, Lakin Cooper, liked what they heard, and I got to do the boys volleyball state championship again in 2022, and I also got to announced 2 games of the boys basketball grade 8 at the 5A level at the Denver Coliseum, something I hadn't done before, but got to do in March of this year. Because I ran into Bethany Brookins and Lakin Cooper, they liked what they heard if that hadn't happened. And thanks in no small part to this man, Matt Heckel. No state championship in boys volleyball, no state tournament basketball announcing, no nothing there. And now these guys, Regis University, who brought me in to do volleyball and basketball full-time in August of 2021, and that's initially all I was going to do. But they decided they were pleased with what they heard when I called those sports, so they gave me even more, baseball and softball, and let's just say helped give me enough to upgrade my vehicle, and not only that, I've gotten more exposure and done very well with Regis University, something that far exceeded my expectations, but wouldn't have happened if I hadn't taken the job to do volleyball and basketball in the first place in August of 2021. Finally, one more example here. This, you see the name there, that is Scotty Gange, the prep reporter for 9 News in Denver. He was at a game I did just 6 days prior to this taping, a high school football game, Stanley Lake and Dakota Ridge, and though he's certainly much higher up in the broadcasting business than most people in their 20s, Scotty didn't act like that. He was asking me how I was doing, he wanted to know more about my announcing career. And it's not just old goofs like me he's willing to help out. He goes all over the state, interviewing high school athletes, giving swag chains, as he calls them, to his athletes of the week. And when he goes to a stadium, he'll make sure to thank the stadium manager, thank the communications guy for Jeffco, my good friend Dennis Ployce, an all-around class guy, and we'll see where it takes me, but he is already a big-timer, Scotty Gange is, and I know he'll go even farther, not just because he's good at what he does, but very kind man, helpful to, like I said, helpful to high schoolers, be it announcers like me, be it coaches, you name it, just a fine guy, Scotty Gange, and someone I got to meet last Friday I wouldn't have if I hadn't done the Stanley Lake Dakota Ridge football game. So that's a big part of why I announce so many sporting events, high school, college, wherever. Part because, yes, I'm an announcing whore that still loves sports, but also I never know who I'm going to meet and where that's going to lead. So there's my story for today. I'll talk to you down the road. Take care, everybody. And to use a Bill Rogan phrase, don't have a good day, have a great one.